Let me ask you something and answer honestly. If Bitcoin had just settled tokenized US Treasuries with JPMorgan and Mastercard in under 5 seconds, would the price be flat? Would crypto Twitter be completely silent? Or would it be everywhere? Because that's exactly what just happened with XRP, and almost nobody's even really talking about it. So today we're asking the uncomfortable question: is XRP being ignored or intentionally kept quiet? Because to me, something just doesn't make a whole lot of sense here. Now, before we get into it, full disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research. You owe that to yourself. Well, let's establish something clearly, okay? This may not be about price predictions, and it's not even really about whether you like XRP or not. I know there's a lot of people out there that XRP is just not their thing. I don't know why I wouldn't, but that's fine. I mean, you can have your own conviction, and that's what, we want to push. I want to help people find is their own conviction into these projects. You need to have your, if my dad would say something like, if someone can talk you into it, someone can talk you out of it. So you need to kind of have your own idea of why, this would be an asset class for you and why it makes sense for you to investigate and to learn it. But I think it's worth actually learning, actually putting in the thought and the intention of figuring out, well, is this actually revolutionizing the financial system? And can I actually be a part and play a part in it? And hopefully make some wealth changing amounts of money that can just absolutely revolutionize your life. So it's everything that's happening right now it's about a reaction or kind of the lack of it, because XRP and Ripple has just been making moves. And I'm like, I don't know if you're like me, but you're looking around and you're like, well, all this amazing stuff is happening, and yet we don't see any movement in price. Or why is the news not just blabbing all about it? It's like Bitcoin does something and it's like, oh my goodness, it's changing the world. Yeah, sure. I guess it's not though. It didn't. I know it was a first mover in this space as being one of the first blockchains. Sure, but it's slow. It's outdated. It's Blockbuster to Netflix. And this week, Ripple confirmed that JPMorgan, Mastercard, Ondo Finance, and Ripple completed a live cross-border settlement of tokenized US Treasuries using the XRP ledger, settling in under 5 seconds, all outside normal banking hours. That's real institutional settlement. And yet, we have everybody and their mom completely quiet about it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, if you guys have your own thoughts on it, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. But, some people will say the markets just don't care. But that explanation doesn't really hold up, because today, XRP price stayed largely flat. It's been hanging out around the, mid $1.30s, $1.40, as all this news is circulating in line with a broader market pullback. Well, the flat price isn't a whole too shocking. But what is shocking is like no volume surge, no narrative traction, no mainstream crypto amplification. And in crypto, even bad news gets attention. So why isn't this? Here's where the conspiracy doesn't require manipulation, rather more maybe almost only incentives, because real incentives is volatility, momentum, narrative, kind of like the what next. And institutional incentives is more like stability. Okay, is it predictable? Is there some type of low visibility? Is there minimal headline risk to this, right? We don't want to risk our firm. We want to be a part, but we got to move slow. And how do we do that quietly, but also positioning ourselves for the future? I mean, that's what institutions' incentives are, right? And so now ask yourself, like, who does XRP increasingly serve? Because institutions don't want like price spikes during integration, social media chaos, retail like front running them, right? Retail has been front running them. And if you haven't been in this space, then I don't know what you're doing, because it's like probably your only chance to front run institutions. And what I mean by front run institutions, maybe you've heard that term before, but not sure exactly what it means. It means that you have a chance to actually get into some of these deal flows before the big boys and the big money can actually get into it. Because, if you've dealt with private equity or you worked in anything like that, it's, you have to be an accredited investor. You have to jump through all these hoops, and you got to work through different firms. You can't just, as an individual, go out and say, I want to purchase some stock here. No, you got to play by the big boy rules. And crypto allows you to get in before all the big boy rules come to play. Does that make sense? So today's data is kind of reinforcing this sort of behavior that institutions they're waiting to get in, and then all the big rules and all the big stuff, and it's just going to be normal traditional finance. And the retail incentive, I think, is going to kind of go the way of the dodo. I mean, I think there's going to be some cool stuff that comes out, like different trading platforms and different things that come out in the DeFi space for sure. But it's not going to be the same opportunity, in my opinion, as we're seeing now. Once all the big players are totally integrated, and they're starting to be integrated. Like reports published today that show that new XRP wallet creation has fallen to an 18-month low, signaling reduced retail participation. Like retail's kind of like, we don't care. Yet we are seeing all this stuff about institutions caring, right? And I get it, because we're on the bottom of this bear market, and we're kind of like, where are we going to go from here, right? And when things aren't moving, retail gets bored. That's just kind of how it works. But you don't want to be FOMOing when the price is at the top, because let me tell you, retail, 99% of retail get absolutely wrecked in markets. That's just how they're designed to mess you up. And I mean, there's XRP ETFs, they're continuing to be absorbing supply right now. There's no real retail excitement these days. I mean, we just had XRP Las Vegas. I mean, that's about as retail excitement as you can get. And it was a happening time there, but I think the buzz overall in crypto right now is, let's just wait and see. But I think if you're just waiting around to see, that's when things are going to shift and you're going to miss it. I think you're going to miss it. So there are narrative pressure though that's happening. Like, layer this in also from today's coverage. There's a former Swift executive publicly questioned XRP's utility, even as institutional pilots continue integrating it. That creates an interesting dynamic, because retail hears doubt. Institutions see, throughput, not coordinated, not, conspiratorial, or however you want to say it, but just, I guess, perfectly misaligned incentives. Retail reacts to opinion. Institutions react to settlement efficiency. And hey, you don't get more efficient than the XRPL and everything that Ripple's doing, and Ripple's integration into the banking system. So what does this actually change for XRP holders? Well, all this kind of just suggests that price discovery is muted on purpose, I think. And it's not because it's broken. Ownership is consolidating structurally. Volatility suppression favors infrastructure rollout. So that doesn't guarantee upside, but it does change who matters. And today, retail clearly matters less than it used to. And I think we're going to continue to see that. I don't think retail is what's really going to be pushing the price of XRP. It's funny when you talk to some people about XRP and you're trying to explain to them this whole new financial system, because you care about them, and you're like, hey, there's a genuine opportunity here. And they're like, oh, you just want me to buy some XRP because that means that the price will go up for you. Man, you could buy 1 million XRP. The price isn't going to move. It's not going to change. It's not some meme coin where it's like, you just got to convince some people and then rug pull them. That's not what's happening. You know how much liquidity is in XRP? There's so much liquidity in XRP. Retail is just a tiny little sliver, right? You know who has a lot of XRP is all these institutions and all these banks and all these partners of Ripple that are going to be using that XRP to facilitate those cross-border transactions, those remittances, like all those, everything that's designed to do. It's not just a store of value that you're just putting in money and just hoping that the price goes up. The price is going to go up because the demand for the supply. And when they're not getting the over the counter anymore, all these institutions, where are they going to go? They're going to go to exchanges, whatever's left on exchanges, right? And that's what's going to send the supply shock. So if we come full circle, if Bitcoin had been doing what XRP has been doing, you wouldn't stop hearing about it. But XRP did do it. And maybe the market barely whispered about it, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means something's happened. Might just be a little bit quiet. But I'll ask you this. If XRP is being ignored, is that intentional? Is it being intentionally kept quiet until the system's ready? Drop your thoughts in your comments below. If you guys love daily updates like this and these thought-provoking questions, please throw a like and a subscribe. I appreciate you guys so very much. And for now, be blessed, stay positive, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.